Fuck it. We'll do it live.
All right. Back again. We're going to talk about something here.
Yeah, we're going to, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to the ye old Google machine and we are going to use the podcast topic generator.
How about those Philly sports teams?
Oh, boy. Oh, we just did. We just did that.
Oh, well.
Actually, you know what?
Crazy weather.
Yeah, we're about to get some rain here, actually. So that's something. So if you hear some rumbles of thunder in the back, you might get that noise. But yeah, we figured it's just we recently did our video games portion of our bracket of bad, and we seeded that. So we'll just kind of run through that real quick while we're doing the topic here. So we picked our 15 and 16 seeds. 15 being Super Mario Brothers 2 and 16 being just Sonic the Hedgehog related games. So the 1 versus 16 is going to be the first seed went to Pulse Racer. So Pulse Racer gets go against Sonic. 8 and 9. 8 is Off Road the Baja, and 9 is Where's Waldo. So that's an interesting one. This one I kind of have a feeling I know where it's going to go. Number 5 is Zelda CDI games versus at 12 The Witcher 3. Number 4 is NFL football for NES versus 13 Shaq Fu. Number 6 is Home Alone for the PC versus number 11 Double Dragon for the PC. This next one's interesting. This was probably my favorite matchup it made. Number 3 was Back to the Future for the Nintendo versus Bart versus the Space Mutants. So that should be an interesting one. Number 7, Paper Mario Sticker Star versus the Turtles for NES. And the last one rounding out the video game bracket is Jaws versus Super Mario Brothers 2.
All right. So, I mean, we can pretty much, I have a feeling we pretty much all know which way this is going to go for this first bracket. Because I feel like Richie's the only one who will vote for Sonic games over Pulse Racer. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like that's the way that one would go. I'm going Off Road the Baja for the 8 versus 9. I'm going Zelda CDI games versus over The Witcher. I'm actually going to go Shaq Fu over NFL football. I'm going to go a game that doesn't work over a game that does work but sucks. I'm going Bart versus the Space Mutants because of how much it let me down. I'm going Paper Mario Sticker Star, and I'm going Jaws.
That's certainly fair.
What do you think, Rich?
Going down the list, yeah, I'd probably go with Pulse Racer 2.
So
I'd pick Where's Waldo over Off Road the Baja. Zelda over Witcher. I think I'd go Shaq Fu over football just because I think I'd like I don't know, we're picking the worst one though. Let's just go with football.
I mean, actually, you know what? I'll even change mine to NFL football because Shaq Fu I found to be at least playable.
Yeah.
So
wow, that might be the first time that statement's ever been uttered.
Yeah.
I found Shaq Fu to be at least playable.
Yeah, because if we're going with the worst, I would take the playable game over the unplayable game.
Yep. So Double Dragon, and for that same reason that Bob just gave, I found Bart versus Space Mutants disappointing but fun, so I'd give it to Back to the Future.
Yeah, and now that we're kind of now that we're switching things around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Back to the Future would be the worst of those two.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that intrigued me the most when I randomized the 1 through 14 seeds. You know, we had a great discussion about why Bart versus Space Mutants is a terrible game, but that first level is so good that it almost completely supersedes any reason why Back to the Future is any good. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And the thing with Back to the Future, and I said it, recording last night, it just makes no sense at all. I mean, it's a strange one.
So who did you have in Paper Mario versus Turtles, Rich?
Paper Mario,
Okay.
and then Jaws, of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
I'm
know
gonna,
if it'd make the top 10, but it would make my bracket for the best game, Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah.
Like 3 and World are definitely better over it, but I think it's still a good game.
Oh, I agree.
I'll run through mine real quick, and then we'll do a final decision whenever we can record this one with Pink. But Pulse Racer, I'll go Where's Waldo just based on the hideous screenshot was sent our way yesterday. Zelda CDI. I don't know if this NFL football versus Shaq Fu. I really don't know. They're both terrible in my eyes. I'll just say NFL football. I'll go with Double Dragon because that never worked. Go Back to the Future, and I've never played Paper Mario, but Rich, I'll stick with your opinion on that. I trust that one, so I'll say that's worse. And yeah, the Jaws. Even though I really like Jaws, I don't like it nearly as much as Super Mario 2.
Right. So
I
honestly,
go back and play both, but more so on Mario 2.
right. So honestly, the only one that we can't move forward would be the Off-Road, the Baja, and Where's Waldo. Because depending upon because Bink could either sway it where it's a tie or he could make it. But I mean, I'm tempted to change it because, like you said, if we're doing completely unplayable games or terrible games, Where's Waldo is a fucking shit heap of a game. But Offer of the Baja was not much closer to being a playable game. I guess it was. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Off Road since we threw it from a moving vehicle, but we'll let Bink be the decider on that one, and then we can.
Yeah.
Once he's back, we'll either do the movies or we can continue this bracket.
Yeah.
I just want to say that it's actually called Super Baja, the Super Off-Road, the Baja.
It didn't deserve the super.
Yeah. And, there's something else I wanted to think, and I lost the thing because I let them thing. Oh, I think there's an AVGN of the Where's Waldo games. There were several
That would
games.
Make sense.
Yeah. Like, I think it's one of his newer ones. It's one of his newer ones, so they suck. What'd you say?
Oh, was it an LJN one?
No, it was just an episode. I remember there's somebody being dressed up like, Waldo.
Is he still doing those? I haven't watched them in years.
He does like one a quarter, and they're not good.
Yeah, I haven't watched them in years.
It's like remember in Wayne's World where it gets bought by that Rob Lowe, and they film it in the studio. That's what the AVGN. They take like all the stuff that he was doing before, kind of sucks all the joy and funniness too. I think he decided he had to be cruder because that's what people want. So he's got an episode. We're getting way off. He's got an episode with Lloyd Kaufman, the guy that wrote and created Toxic Avenger, and it's unwatchable because it's just like poop fart, and that's like as good as he gets anymore with his vocabulary and funniness.
That sucks.
Humor, yeah.
And I know you're definitely not off topic because I think it's a good thing to approach. I remember watching that guy really early on. Thought he was hysterical. Because I remember I mean, at least early on. I mean, I'm saying early on. Gosh, when he started making videos like 15 years ago or so.
When I worked for the law firm, he was one of our clients for when he did a deal with Screw Attack.
Was he really?
Yeah. So I was walking in the lobby one day, and I was the only person in the law firm that knew who he was.
Oh, you know what? He's been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah. He lives somewhere in PA. So he's like a local guy. Obviously, he's a law firm. Oh, I don't think he wants to be doing the character anymore, and I think it's one of those things where he doesn't like doing it, but he has to because that's how he makes money.
Say the
Yeah.
line.
And then there's a team that the guys that are doing the Toxic Avenger video game aren't the same people that did the Turtles video game. It's the people who film and edit the AVGN episodes. Streamwave, Streamwave, one of those two.
Yeah,
Media.
Streamwave Media or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll say
it's
this.
not just writing them anymore either. It's like a team of people writing the nerd stuff.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like he's got his moments, but yeah, like Richie said, it's not. I don't find as much joy in watching the new ones. Like some of them, I'll find a joke here or there funny, but by and large, it is just kind of like too tropey at this point almost. Where like
Yeah.
you know the notes that he's got to hit, and he knows the notes that he has to hit, and so he's gonna. It's like seeing a one hit wonder playing a local bar where whenever they try to do something new, it's really terrible. And then they play like if Semisonic was going to play. I like the band Semisonic. I like a lot of the stuff they did, but what's the one song that everybody knows by them? Closing Time.
Closing time.
Yeah. So you go see Closing Time at fucking Hollywood Diner because I'm pretty sure that's the only place they could fill anymore. And they're like everybody's there, and the whole time they're just shouting, "Play Closing Time." So
Freebird, do Freebird,
Freebird.
So everybody's just shouting at the Angry Video Game Nerd, "Shit pickle, do shit pickle," and that's kind of it, you know.
When I first moved down here, and I knew this was when I was in the South, it's probably within the first year. Danielle and I had gone out to a local karaoke bar. We had started to frequent, and it was fun. It was a good time. Cheap beer, good people. It was just a good old country place. And I'll never forget this. When they would stop doing karaoke, it would be, let's just have the crowd give us suggestions for music for the DJ. It's fine. It's great. People are entertained. And this one guy just started shouting over and over again, "Bob Seger, Night Moves. Bob Seger, Night Moves." And it's like, officially a Southerner. So fast forward to now, and I'm not kidding you, the closest bar to my house, which is like a mile and a half down the road, the name of that bar is Night Moves.
Get the fuck out.
That's one of those conspiracy theory things you wanted to talk about earlier.
Exactly. See?
There was the guy that did Fritz the Cat and Wizards, Ralph Bakshi. Ralph Bakshi made a movie called American Pie? American Pop. Sorry, American Pop. It follows a family or generations of a family through their history, world history, and musical history. And for whatever reason, I guess because Ralph Bakshi was an old Jew who maybe didn't understand music that well, it ends with the character looking like David Bowie but playing Night Moves by Seeger. Like, these two things don't go. Like I said, it looks exactly like White Duke Bowie. They go, okay. The rest of the movie is really good though. He did the Lord of the Rings cartoon that was out like in the 70s too.
Oh yeah. Well, we talked about that on here too before. Yeah.
I like his stuff.
Yeah. That's cool. I like how some of the stuff comes back around. It makes us act like we're professional.
But American Pop is I would recommend that over the Quantumanium of Man. No, what the fuck was that just called? Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long name.
That tells you, I enjoyed it while I was watching it, and now I don't even remember what it was called. So that's all you need to know about the Ant-Man and the Wasp sequel. That and Michelle Pfeiffer's friggin' old.
64 turned 65 on April 29th.
Dude, I didn't realize that Gates McFadden was in her 70s.
Yeah. A funny thing about her, that's not her real name. It's something else McFadden. And before she was an actress, she did choreography. And she did all the dance choreography for the movie Labyrinth.
Ah,
Really?
nice.
Yeah, if you watch the special bonus features on one of the DVD releases, it's like, is that Crusher? What the fuck's going on? Yeah,
Yeah, Cheryl Gates McFadden. She's
there it is, Cheryl.
74. Yeah, and I mean, heck of a career. I mean, how short? Did the choreography for Labyrinth and also the Muppets Take Manhattan
Ah,
because she worked at
Really?
the Jim Henson Company. Yep, pretty interesting. She this is pretty cool. She was also an uncredited appearance in The Hunt for Red October.
I
That's
need
pretty
to
cool.
know how you get the nickname Gates.
I think Tom just
Or
said
maybe
it
I
was-
don't.
Huh?
Maybe I don't need to know how you get the nickname Gates.
Let's see. I don't know.
You like that police chief guy who did those games? Really, the Daryl Gates.
Oh yeah, what were those games called? SWAT.
It was.
SWAT, wasn't it?
Yeah, he also did the first. I think they were just Police Quest. They were called Police Quest.
Police Quest. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Because I was going to say they did the other Quest games.
Yeah, weren't those
Sierra.
Sierra games? Yeah, King's Quest and all that. Oh man, yeah, I forgot all about Police Quest. I remember playing
Daryl
it.
Gates was the commissioner for the LA police or something. He was some kind of police officer.
He
guy.
was like the police commissioner during the Rodney King stuff, I believe.
Yeah. So it must have been that LA. So he got to go around before that happened. I imagine he got to go around telling people, "I'm the John Madden of police games."
Well, you know,
Yeah. The only reason why I know who John Madden is because he was on those games.
I was trying to find the reason why she was called Gates, but I'm coming up blank.
In prison time.
Let's see. She was credited as Cheryl McFadden in the Troma movie When Nature Calls.
I've seen that. I didn't realize she was in that.
Yeah, what a weird
Okay,
career.
so, as a way of distinguishing her acting work from her choreography, she usually is credited as Gates McFadden as an actress and Cheryl McFadden as a choreographer.
Ah,
And
there
Gates
you go.
is her middle name.
It's actually her middle name, yeah. So
So there we
yeah,
go.
there you go. There's a little history lesson.
Yeah.
So Dr. Beverly Crusher Gates.
I don't remember how we got here.
We never know how we get here.
Yeah.
We were talking about
It went back to Labyrinth. and
Ant-Man
then
and
Muppets.
the Wasp: Quantumania. You said
That's
that
yeah.
what's her name is old, and I said
Gotcha.
yeah.
Jane Seymour's old too, but she's still. I think she just had a birthday or something. It's in her
Cool.
70s. She was Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and Solitaire in. Oh, Tom died.
Yeah, we lost Tom. Does that mean it stops recording? No, it's still recording.
Oh
Does
yeah,
it just keep? Does it keep recording until?
It
like-
keeps. I guess until we hang up. I guess the call ends.
Oh,
He's back.
hey, look, Tom's back.
That was completely my fault. And it's thunderstorming here. And I kind of freaked out and was like, big flash of lightning. And then, whoa. And I hit my finger. I was like, oh no.
So what you're saying is the thunder bothers you more than a bottle of whiskey, but like I can still podcast drunk, and Tommy's a little scared.
Well, it was funny because it's just me and my son home right now. My wife and daughter are on the way back home. And like I'm in where I sit, there's like two sets of windows that are wide open on both sides of me. And like it was like this giant flash, and I was like, oh no. It's like
Oh, yeah. Heavens to Murgatroyd.
Yeah, pretty much.
Danielle, I need you to save me.
So anyway,
I'm in the basement, so it's relatively quiet down here. But whenever the dog decides to move to a different spot, I can hear him just collapse on the floor.
like
And I can hear
Bump.
Jackass.
Yeah.
He's
He's 120 pounds, so it's pretty good fun.
my dog's small, but he's 15 and he's got a lot of very old man traits. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's not
So
fun.
whenever he moves, you just hear.
Yeah, and he's got cataracts real bad. Can't really hear. Back legs are bow-legged, but we're trying to make sure he's comfortable. But we know it's
like a cowboy dog.
Yeah, it's borrowed time. So, oh well. Well, now you can probably hear my cat going crazy in the background thanks to this weather.
Also, I was excited the other day. We had thunderstorms for like 2 or 3 days in a row, and now I look at the fucking weather, and it's like, oh, clear skies for the next week. Like, that's the only good thing about living in Florida is that there's really cool storms, and they happen normally like once a day, and now we're not even getting that. So
yeah, we're getting something now, but I was telling Rich this before we started recording. We're going to be unseasonably cool for the rest of the month. Usually it's like today got in the 80s, and after this weather passes, we're not supposed to see in the 70s again until May. It's going to be in the 60s or lower. Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so our 10-day forecast: 87, 87, 83, 88, 87, 87, 86, 83, 81, 81. And it never gets colder than 67.
Let's see.
We're closer to Tom. He's like, we're 82 tomorrow, then 76 Saturday. And then it doesn't get above 68 until like this stops doing it 2 weeks from now. I guess it's 10 days.
I was going to say our 10-day, the 66 is the highest. Yeah. It's weird here. It really is. Because, see, we get that like northern dip from Canada. So I've seen at times where it's like New Jersey, it'll show, or that where the area you're in, Rich, it'll be like 20 or 30 degrees warmer than it is here in the wintertime.
I thought really we left our northern dip in Florida.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
Unless you're Johnny Bench, then you're out roaming the.
He's out looking for chupacabras.
That I sent you guys a picture of one of his rookie cards. They have 2 of them in that shop now, in that little booth, and they're still way too. I'll buy a domain name or 2 for $10 a piece. I'm not buying a $400 card as a joke for the show.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
I was gonna say, I don't care if it was 400 or like even if it was like $20. The fact that you would even consider buying that just was amazing.
I totally considered it, just to flash on a little window that only we can see and nobody that's listening to us.
Exactly.
It'd be like in the center of every video.
We really need to figure out how to do this on YouTube because I feel like that's when we take off. Because look at us.
Yeah.
Can I get Johnny Bench baseball cards?
Well, we're also photogenic. Once it gets on YouTube, then we could put it up, and then we could start our OnlyFans, and then we can buy the Johnny Bench rookie cards.
Where we do it nude, like in Naked News. Remember Naked News?
Yes, I do. Yes. Shake my chin.
As we're doing the podcast, shirts just start coming off.
As we get donations, clothes come off.
Oh, we can talk about Kevin Smith giving up pot. That's
this is interesting.
Very interesting.
All right. You know what? I think this is very. Look, I don't know when this will get posted, but we're recording this on 4/20, so I think this is very timely.
Yeah, I didn't listen. Apparently, he announced it during a Fat Man on Black Band, and I stopped listening to that a while ago. But there was a new Hollywood Babylon, which he hasn't done in forever. Is that a kid or is that a?
That's a cat.
That's my cat.
But anyway, speaking of horrors, Kevin Smith just mentioned that he was snorting lavender oil to calm himself because he was like a month or 2 off of pot or something.
Wait. Did you say snorting lavender oil?
Yeah, that's how he referred to it as snorting it, but just
okay. I was gonna say, I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crystallizing it and just doing bumps.
Yeah, he said this is his new drug. And apparently he was just high too much and said it was taking him away from he wasn't experiencing things, he was experiencing the high, which sounds like his wife made him stop smoking or something like that, because it sounds like a weird, maybe he had a health thing too and just doesn't want to announce it. I don't know. Well, there's not really a lot of, he did have a heart attack. I don't know if you guys know that. Well, so I think he should go back now, being off pot, and redo Jay. I want a Jay and Silent Bob. First of all, I want him to sit down and watch the movies without being high, and tell us if they're any good. And then I want him to redo a couple of them. Let's get a redo on Clerks 3.
Which I still contest that Clerks 3 is fine, but Jay and Silent Bob reboot absolutely needs to be rebooted.
Clerks 3 was the worst of the three, but it's still it's watchable. It's still an okay movie. I just hated the ending, but it made sense. I don't know. I guess it sucks because like I had so much love for the first two, and for completely different reasons. I don't know what else.
Didn't you?
Of course, who doesn't?
Was Yoga Hosers worse than Reboot?
Never saw it.
Well, the fact that it sounds like we talked about this. It's Canadian.
Yeah, it's got wow.
Lily Rose
Johnny
Depp
Depp
and Harley Quinn Smith.
With a pianist nose prosthesis.
Yeah, that was one of those movies I looked up too, just out of curiosity.
And apparently it's got Johnny Depp's daughter and his daughter are the two main stars. And they're apparently friends in real life. And I think they're friends because whoever stands next to Harley Quinn Smith is automatically going to look 2 points higher on that scale. So that's why friends.
Listen, man, you better watch talking about your girl like that. She's going to make you sleep on the couch.
It's okay.
All right, so let's go back to the topic at hand here on why Kevin Smith, why Kevin Smith quit smoking pot, and it was whether I don't know, Rich, you might be onto something, whether it was because someone made him or it was health reasons, or something like that. Who knows? I always thought it was kind of funny that he dove into it so hard as Jason Mewes was getting clean. That kind of cracked me up. It was very ironic. The thing that I kind of wonder though is kind of what you said. Are we going to get possibly? I don't think we'll redo anything, but maybe we'll get another sequel to something, or maybe we'll get something that we didn't expect because now his head's not in the clouds. Well,
he's working on Mallrats.
I knew that, but I mean something else now that he's officially like, hey, I'm done. I don't know what that would be. Jersey Girl 2.
Well, it says here, now I'm not reading. He said, I did it for 15 years, and now I just want to be present. When I started smoking weed, kids, I had a very big wound in my heart, and weed was a really nice bandage that I put on top of it. And the wound kept getting bigger, and then I put on more bandages. And then one day I realized I was as bandaged up as a mummy and couldn't see clearly and couldn't hear clearly. It wasn't present anymore. And that was his response to,
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look back and he's tough because he made so many good films early on.
Yes.
It's really hard to obviously repeat that success over and over and over again. So I kind of get some of your reasoning, Rich, on especially his later work.
He before he smoked pot, he had stoner characters that were funny. And then it's like pot smoking is not bad. I just want to say that.
Right.
And it makes a lot of people funnier. But for some reason, I don't think he was at his best when he was on it.
And you know what? You look back to the original Clerks when he basically ran the entire ship on everything.
Yeah.
He wrote it behind the whole thing. And he obviously wasn't smoking then. And look at what a masterpiece that turned out to be. And the same can be said for other movies, because he didn't really, he said about the last 15 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Clerks 2, he was not then. And look at all the other Mallrats, Dogma. I mean, just a ton of them. Just awesome movies.
When Cheech and Chong filmed the Cheech and Chong movies, they weren't really high. They were acting. That's the
Oh
only
yeah, it was a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Of
don't know.
course,
It's
now
good.
Chong is constantly getting arrested for fucking pot.
That's
I didn't know he had more than I know that he wrote the book about the one he took for his kids. But I know there are more others other than that.
Yeah, well, either pot or like when he got busted for the selling the bongs and shit, the pipes.
That wasn't him. That he his son had the I forget what Chong Bongs or something. I think they called the company, and you're not allowed to ship that stuff over state lines. And they set up a sting operation where this guy called an order and said, "Well, can you ship it to me?" And they said, "No, we can't do it. We can't ship over state lines." So the guy placed the order and said, "Well, I'll come and pick it up. Leave it in your warehouse." And they said it sat there for months until it got to the point they couldn't bring in new inventory because that was sitting there. And they finally mailed it to the guy. And it turns out it was the government setting him up for whatever. And then
Oh,
he
that's
said,
bullshit.
"Listen, your wife and kids' names are on this company's license. If you don't um, uh, admit to it,
Take the
right, take
fall.
the blame, yeah, take the fall, then we're going to go after your wife and kid in court, and we'll put them in jail."
Mm.
So he said he did the
That's
plea
fucked
for
up.
a year and whatever. And then he wrote a whole book about it. So I read a book, and I went to a book signing he was doing for the book, and he said he was in one of those country club type jails. They were building a Indian smoke hut to meditate in at the jail. So that's the jail. I mean, he's still locked up and couldn't leave, but yeah, he said
Right.
everyone was relatively nice to him, and he got a book out of it.
Yeah.
So he was happy with
I mean,
a
it's just
documentary.
fucked up.
A documentary. I guess I did. This was a while ago, yeah, and I think that was the only time he was ever arrested. He also found God in prison, which is odd, but not like God, more of a spiritual thing, and he talks about that a lot. That kind of turned me off. And he's really into his wife. Like he got married late, and I went to see him. I went to see Cheech and Chong in Atlantic City with friends, and at the very end, his wife comes out and they dance because he's really into dance too. So like ballroom dance.
Hmm.
Like, well, this is odd, but I'm glad you waited to the end of the show.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty unique. I never, that's stuff you just don't hear every day.
Yeah, he wrote two. He wrote. I forget what the first book is, but that's the one where it was about his year in jail, and then he wrote the unauthorized autobiography of Cheech and Chong, which is a fantastic title.
Nice.
Yeah, and he said he knew Cheech and Chong were over when he went to the movie theater and saw the new Cheech and Chong movie, and he wasn't in it. And that was that Born in East LA movie Cheech did by himself.
No.
Paul Rodriguez.
Oh shit! I never saw Born in East LA, so I didn't even realize.
It's a funny movie. It's a very good movie.
I've heard the song Born in East LA, but I've never actually seen. I've never seen the movie. Huh.
It was it wasn't a drug movie. He accidentally gets deported. It follows the song. He accidentally gets deported back to Mexico in a sting operation, kind of like whatever, like roundups. And while he's there, he can't reach anyone back at home to send them his passport and stuff. So he's got to work for this guy. Um, there's a lot of funny scenes. One of it, he's training them how to act American, so when they get over the border, they can act American. But like he's in Mexico, he's at a Mexican bar, and instead of these people he's got to train to act American being Mexican, they're Chinese. So that was kind of funny.
It's funny about that movie, and I was looking at the cast because I was curious. Other than Cheech and Paul Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Daniel Stern is in it as well. From Home Alone fame, and there's Jana Michael Vincent plays a character named McAllister. I thought that was quite funny. Yeah. So.
And I go to a lot of these conventions, and I got to see. First of all, the Chong stuff was book signings. One was at the free library. If you bring the book, he'd sign anything. And I forget where the other one was. But it was like I said, you had to buy the book. I don't even know if you had to take it to the event. I think you just had to be there before it was whatever. But then Cheech was at a horror convention, and he charged $90 an autograph, and he wanted additional money for a picture, and then additional money on top of that if you wanted your name on the autograph.
Oh,
So this
jeez.
is like Cheech after that divorce, though. So I'm thinking he was hurting for money because this like damn, Cheech.
Yeah, so you can potentially walk out of there just to get, say, a picture of too rich from Cheech, and it would cost you $150.
Over $100, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man.
The only person that ever paid for a picture for or with was Christina Ricci, and that was like one of those prom pictures where like you stand there behind the backdrop and people come and take pictures of you, like professional things.
Yeah, I paid for last time
and that was worth it because I got to hug her.
Last time I paid for a picture with anybody, I saw, this was before AEW kind of got kicked off. I saw Tony Schiavone, and he does his podcast with Conrad Thompson, and they were doing comedy tours. So they showed up at Zany's in Nashville, and I paid for the VIP ticket, and it got you a photo. So before Tony got back on TV, there's he's a small guy too. So there's a picture of me in the middle with those guys, and I paid for that experience. I guess it wasn't much more than the regular ticket, but that was the one where, oh God, what's his name? Wrestler showed up on stage, and Bobby Eaton, and he passed away not that long ago. So it's kind of cool, But yeah, no, I've never really paid for. Golly, I can't think I have hardly at all either. Which would explain why my lack of pictures with celebrities.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never paid to have my picture taken with any celebrities. I think I was on TV. I think I was on TV talking to John LeClaire on Fox back home, the Fox 29 on the late night news.
I was hoping you'd say Jerry's Kids.
Well, there's plenty of pictures of you and I together, Rich.
Yes.
But no, I think that's it. I know somewhere somebody has a picture of me and Tommy Green together from when I went to a signing up at my uncle's dealership. But aside from that, I don't think I have any pictures with any celebrities.
I get the pictures with them if they're free, and they used to be like, here, let me get a picture while we're signing this thing. So I got maybe use celebrities in air quotes. Oh, that's not true. I paid. I took my brother to go see Christopher Lloyd on his birthday, and I paid for that picture.
Oh, that's a cool one, though.
That was cool. Yeah, it's the three of us and things.
Yeah. That's great. You gotta have Doc Brown, man.
Yeah, I got Lou Ferrigno. He was free. David Prowse. He's the guy inside the Darth Vader costume.
Oh, yeah.
He was also the guy, if you've ever seen A Clockwork Orange, he carried around the dude's wheelchair in like one scene. So that's what I got signed by him, was my copy of A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Cool.
Then later on, I saw Malcolm McDowell and brought him the same thing, and he looked at it and said, David Prowse already wrecked this. And he opened it up and signed the inside of it. Like, okay.
That's fucking funny.
That's cool. That's cool.
Malcolm McDowell was cool.
Yeah,
he's like old and grumpy, but in like a fun way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's and it's funny too, like thinking about people that, I remember when, guys remember when Bob Vila made it to the Deptford Mall?
No.
Yeah. I have a nail apron signed by him.
I remember at our school.
I vaguely remember Bob Vila.
It was the governor. The governor showed up one day.
Jim Florio?
No, the woman.
Christy Whitman. Yeah, it was Florio, then Whitman. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's funny. What's that?
She was there shaking kids' hands. She was just walking through the halls one day with, like, obviously a film crew and cameras and stuff. It was some kind of publicity.
I wonder where the fuck I was that day.
I don't know if you weren't. I don't think they didn't tell us. I think she just either showed up or whatever. So if you weren't walking through the hall, you probably wouldn't have known she was there.
Was it at Kingsway or at
Was
East
it Kingsway?
Greenwich?
Yeah, it's Kingsway. No. Yeah, it was Kingsway. Had to be Kingsway.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, all right. Well, that happened.
Yeah.
That was like when they locked Bart and all the bad kids in the fucking furnace room.
Yeah, I was
the,
thinking that because I was like, man, Bob's memory is like a friggin' steel trap. How does he not remember that?
It was Homer they locked up. Did they lock up Bart too? I know there's one with Homer where they locked him up with other slow employees.
Yeah, no, this is the one where they lock up like Bart and Jimbo Jones and Nelson at the school to keep him away from. I think was it a Superintendent Chalmers visit or something, or
and Doc.
Sounds right.
Yeah. I should know.
Super Nintendo
Chalmers.
Yeah. Super Nintendo Chalmers. Oh man!
Did you guys ever see? I'm sure you guys have seen that picture that's been floating around where somebody actually painted a Super Nintendo to look like it's Super Nintendo Chalmers.
It's an epic piece of artwork. It's so good. I don't know. My kids have finally gotten into over the last year or so into The Simpsons. So I've just been like really driving in like the classic episodes and like finding the ones where like the memes come from. So like last night when Homer and Flanders become best friends, and that's the one where Homer fades back into the bushes. And like everyone points at TV like, oh my God, that's it.
Stupid sexy Flanders.
I know.
It's like I'm wearing nothing at all.
Promoting other podcasts, but there's a podcast called Talking Simpsons where they go through every episode of The Simpsons chronologically.
Oh my God, they'll have content forever.
Yeah, they actually re-recorded. They started out like branching off of another podcast and show, so they re-recorded the episodes they did there. So they started back over again from season 1. So they actually have, I think they're doing seasons 8 and modern episodes now, like going back and forth between the two to change it up a little bit. And like they do interviews with Simpsons writers and directors and stuff like that. And it's a pretty good podcast.
I think the newest episode that I've shown my kids was Tamako. So that shows you how far back. And I think that's season 10. So like that's all I'm really, really trying to drill right now. It's like, because I don't want to like, no, don't get me wrong. There's still some funny stuff with more recent ones, but I don't know it well enough. And it's not nearly as good as to me anyway, as that first like 7, 8, 9, 10-year run, you know?
I don't know when I stopped watching, but I stopped watching it too. But I also stopped watching South Park, which I really enjoy, and like other stuff. There's just too much stuff on, and when you, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen a new episode of any of them in a while.
Yeah, same way. Simpsons, South Park, Family Guy, I haven't watched in a long time.
I've watched all the Disney Plus Simpsons shorts they did though. 1 or 2 of them were good, and the other ones were just advertisements.
Yeah, they're not
advertisements.
Yeah, they're not good. I've watched a couple of them. They're not
like
great.
The daycare one. Remember she was in day? Was that one of the shorts? I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the longest daycare or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't like Lisa Meets Billie Eilish, and the Loki was kind of dumb.
Oh, speaking of, did you guys hear about Cypress Hill is doing an anniversary show with the release of it's Insane in the Brain, that album? I can't remember the name of the album. And I'm not kidding you, they are doing some either recording or on stage stuff with an orchestra. Wow. And it all goes back to that joke with The Simpsons, where it's like, who will the San Francisco Orchestra? Cypress Hill, I'm looking in your direction, possibly well high.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they turned a joke into an actual thing that's happening. They apparently announced it on Instagram, and I was like, what?
There's that death metal band that does everything dressed up like Flanders.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fuck, what are they called?
Oh crap, we talked about that on here, Bob.
Okily Dokily.
Yeah. We talked about that many episodes ago.
There's a band that plays death metal that's called Gnome, and they all wear red nomads. And they sing in God, I want to say it's like Norwegian or something like that. But and then they have like certain songs in English, but they're really good. I really fucking like them. I found so many good fucked up bands on YouTube. Like
If we can
them,
resurrect Bink, we should do the music one next because I feel like talking about music again.
Yeah, no, I'm down for the music one. I think that'd be a good split too, because video games and movies, I think are, movie. I don't know. Music is a deep one.
I don't remember much about what we talked about yesterday. Did I talk about the Dark Side of the Moon live album? Really good.
Oh, we briefly mentioned it after we stopped recording. Yeah.
And then I just picked up some Osaka Pop Stars. They're like a punk rock super group, kind of with like the Misfits and members of other bands in there, and it's fun.
Something just came up my queue yesterday of electronic ambient artist Enzo that I listened to.
That's my dog.
Yeah. But he releases stuff periodically using Alan Watts, and a lot of those artists do. But he does it so well, and he did another song, and I was like, oh man, it's like put it on repeat, So, but I don't know. So yeah, let's do music next, and I don't know. You guys have anything? Close up shop here.
Fuck Dallas.